We'll take a little break from Digistruct Peak here. We'll go to farm some Torgue tokens. Let's see what Torgue weapons we can get. I'm interested in having a look at the legendary Torgue shotgun. More shotguns. So we'll try that out. I bought this legendary Torgue assault rifle from the Torgue shops. But I'm interested in playing around with the Torgue shotgun, legendary one, so we'll go ahead and farm for some Torgue tokens, go from there. So first we'll drop the level back down. Decrease back to OP0. And we'll jump into the Campaign of Carnage DLC. I'll see what shield I have here. Antagonist. I'll throw the adaptive. Well, the antagonist might be good enough for now. We're just going to be running along to the bar where we can farm for some Torgue tokens.
Stealth.
Shouldn't take us too long to accumulate enough tokens to get the shotgun. Good thing with this antagonist shield, at least it does recharge fast. Cooldown is under 2 seconds, maybe 1.6. So you do get a chance to recover, particularly with Zer0's deception skill. What is the cooldown rate? Or the recharge delay, 1.5. So let's just have a quick look at the Torgue shop, see what we have. Got a Herald to begin with. We will have to bump up the level back up again. So it's about 613 for the legendaries in the Torgue shop. Let's see how we're going for ammo here. We can get a bit of sniper ammo here, the rest looks alright. Now for a loadout, I think the Herald's, we've got a double penetrating Herald here. That'll be good to begin with. Blaster might be interesting. We did get our 4x magic missile a couple days ago, so it'll be fun to play around with that one as well. Although a singularity grenade's probably good for this bar brawl because there's so many enemies around, but I don't really have a good one. Best I have is this. 0 fuse time green OP3. But for now, we'll just keep the magic missile. I'd like to have a play around with it now that we've got this new 4x magic missile. What happened to our Herald? Here we go. We'll put the Herald position 1 and the blaster. We'll throw on the flame, Bone of the Ancients. That's got the best cooldown rate. Although we could put the Sheriff's badge on just for fun. Get that extra fire rate. And damage. Yeah, let's do that. If we're going to be using the Herald, we might as well. And then we can use this legendary Hunter class mod for the cooldown rate boost there. Alright. Let's see how that goes. Oops, let's start the mission first.
Get ready to grab a beer and kick some rear, cause it's time for a beatdown bar brawl. Just pick a fight with the drunks and stay alive.
Don't really even need to slag him. The double penetrating Herald here. barely necessary, so I could actually run with a different grenade. So we are looking for the badasses. We don't really even have to bother with the rest of these guys. Ultimate badass enforcers. They're the ones you have to kill to complete the mission. The rest are not really necessary. So if we really want to grind this out fast, just focus on those badass enforcers and forget the rest. Here's another one. Only takes a few shots to take him down with a double penetrating Herald here. There's a nice find. Focus on these. Oh, I thought that was one of the badasses, but it wasn't. Had that bare-chested look, but just a little bit skinnier than the actual badasses. We don't have any... Oh, we can turn it in. I wasn't paying attention to the mission status. So yeah, once the badasses are all done, you can just turn it in, collect your tokens, and continue. We might as well top up the pistol ammo while we're here. We're not really using the grenade, so we might as well use a different grenade, something we can actually get used to. Maybe play around with the singularity grenade. That might be fun. Not the best, but it's something. Did we start? Oh, we did. I don't know if you do have... I don't think you have badasses spawning immediately. You have to kill one of the bar patrons before they spawn. Let's try one of these singularity grenades. Nothing below. Here's a badass. That Zer0 fuse times are very nice on that singularity grenade. Even though it's only green, still nice to get that immediate effect with the singularity. Now, those bone crushers look the most similar to the badasses. Got a few bore shots there. Pretty easy when there's so many enemies around. He just ran straight through my singularity. Almost dead. Torgue Architect there. For a second I thought that was another badass. Still looking for those badasses. They're the only ones we need to kill. Maybe there's more upstairs here. No, there's one. Still need to kill more by the look of it. We're not quite there yet. Looks like the main group is down the bottom. No badasses there. I'll turn in. Then maybe there was. Have to keep an eye on the mission status there. It's easier to keep running around looking for more badasses when you actually finish the mission. Top up the pistol ammo and continue. We'll keep the singularity grenade on just to mess around with it. Why not? I don't think you get badasses spawning initially. Have to get the bar room brawl going before the badasses pop out. Crusher. No badasses there. Must be on the upper level here. Those bare-chested bone crushers look a lot like the enforcers here. Very satisfying to get those war sounds. There must be more badasses downstairs. There's an enforcer. Another one there. Torgue Architect, that's not an enforcer. Don't have to bother trying. Oh, time to turn it in. Easy to get engrossed in searching for the enforcers. Not really. It's time. Not noticing it's time to turn it in.
Let me know if anything catches your eye. A pleasure as always. 2 words, my friend.
Let's try a different grenade just for fun. Didn't seem all that useful, this singularity grenade. I've got the Stormfront, that'll probably pick up a lot. Got a good range on it, the Stormfront. Let's play around with that one. Looking for those badasses. There's one. He's running away. These badasses have that typical Goliath behaviour where if they're too close to you and they want to do that jumping attack, they'll run away from you for a little bit and then do the jumping attack. Stuck around a little bit too long there. An enforcer. And another one. I think my mum ate a bird, heard my dad, and Step Pops asked her to swallow a cockatoo. A cockatoo. Best way to do this farm is to stand at the entrance, spawn your Norfleet as long as you have your absorb shield, and Logan's guts way faster. Ah, okay. Norfleet. Trying to think if I held on to the Norfleet. Okay. I might just go and check whether I still have it. It's quite possible. Quite possible I got rid of it, but I'll go jump back. Go jump back and see if I have it. Thank you, Triforce. I'll see whether I have the Norfleet. I'm going to run back this way. Yeah, so stand in the doorway.
Your eyes deceive you.
And then just spam the Norfleet, yeah. Yeah, hopefully I still kept the Norfleet. It's possible I sold it, but hopefully I still have it.
I disappear. 2 words, my friend. 2 words. 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 2
We'll see if I still have it. I made the mistake of selling off a lot of items that I thought were too low level and weren't useful. It turns out they were, so I did end up losing a lot of lower level items that still would have been useful. Northfleet could have been one of the victims of my selling off. So I'll check the bank here to see whether I still have it. It's possible I sold it off when I probably shouldn't have. So I don't see... Yeah, I think I might have sold it off. So it would have been nice to have, but I might have... It looks like I got rid of it. So the Northfleet was one of the victims of my things I sold off when I probably shouldn't have. I'll check Claptrap's stash, see whether it's in there, but I don't think it is. I think I might have gotten rid of it. That probably would have made the Torgue token farming a little bit easier. Yeah, I don't have it anymore, unfortunately. What level is this chain lightning? That's 80. So if I ever run across a Northfleet again, I'll certainly hold on to it, but looks like this time I got rid of it. I did the same thing with the Sandhawk. I got rid of that one. And probably a Pimpernel as well. I think I got rid of one of my earlier leveled Pimpernels as well, not realizing that it was still useful, even if I was at a lower level. So we're going to have to struggle on with the Herald here. We don't have the Northfleet anymore. I want to take a look at the legendary Torgue shotgun from the shop. I can't remember what it's called. Is it the Ravager? Whatever that legendary Torgue shotgun is. I've never played around with it, so I'd like to get one to play around with it just to see what it's like. No, Flakker, isn't it? That's what it's called. The Flakker. So I wouldn't mind just grabbing one, just to mess around with it.
Get ready to grab a beer and kick some rear, cause it's time for a beatdown bar brawl.
Let's top off the pistol ammo here.
With the drunks and stay alive.
See how we go. I could have thrown my magic missile back on to regenerate some grenades.
Drop your weapon. I got something for you.
Back on the hunt for those enforcers, badass enforcers. We also had our Stormfront grenade on. So that could be. Didn't pay too much attention. There's one. Have to be careful running through those Stormfront field. The electric arcs won't hurt you, but the grenade and the mini grenades, they'll still explode when the Stormfront expires and hurt you. You can run through there when the grenade's been just thrown, but not too much after that. There's one, badass enforcer. Died mid-air. I mean, even something like a Merv would probably be pretty useful here, just to throw a Merv grenade amongst all the enemies. Bone Crusher, don't need that. Here's one. think those badass enforcers are wearing like a luchador mask, aren't they? Something different. No enforcers this way. Those particular rats causing me some problems. Turn him. There we go. There we go. I should probably just spend a little bit of time picking up the Torgue tokens now. Okay. Let's go ahead and pick up some of these Torgue tokens. Items are not going to be that useful because they're going to be low level, but I can pick up the Torgue tokens and the iridium. They will be useful. I'm not sure what those Moxie paintings are for. If they're a mission item. I've done all the side missions for this DLC, so I'm not sure why I'm still getting those paintings. We've got all the tokens for downstairs. Let's pick up the tokens upstairs. We've got 160 tokens. We need 613. Here's an odd number, 613. I assume the prices scale with your level. Otherwise, why would they make the legendary price such an odd number, 613? So I assume that's scaling with your level. Even though you can collect the tokens at a lower level. And it's probably the same amount of tokens.
Let me know if anything catches your eye. A pleasure as always.
Some more pistol ammo.
Remember, we're
TP Harold is fine to run around. Oh, we're still... Yes, we do. Oh no, I've already accepted it. Already accepted the mission, ready to go. So you don't even have to kill one of the patrons. A single... Just need to damage them to start the mission. That's not what I'm looking for. There's one. First badass enforcer. So it'd be interesting to know exactly how many badass enforcers you have to kill. I'll try to keep count this time. So I've killed one so far. Quite possible I'll kill some and not realise it. That's two. Two enforcers down. There's no enforcers there. There's one. There's three. It'd be good to know roughly how many you need to kill. That's four. Try upstairs. There's one. This will be 5. Okay, so it's 5. You have to kill 5 of the badass enforcers to complete the mission. That's good to know, actually. I can keep count of how many I'm killing, so I know how many I have left, and also so I don't miss the end of the mission, which I have been doing here, and wasting time missing the end of the mission. I didn't get any more ammo, but we still got a decent amount of ammo. I didn't restart. Oh no, I did restart the mission. There we go. You don't even have to kill them, you just need to injure them. Do a little bit of damage to start off the mission. No badass enforcers up here. Looks like they're all downstairs. Possibly we're going to get one badass enforcer spawning at a time. There's one. It's not a badass enforcer. There's one there. I'll die if I stand too close to him. Two here. They can have more than one spawn at once. There's three. So there might only be one left to kill now. Didn't keep close count of how many I was killing, but I think I might be up to 4. Where's this final one? There he is. There we go. Oh, that was the 4th one. Now might be a good idea to pick up some more pistol ammo. It looks like we don't have to stop every time to pick up pistol ammo, just sometimes. I was wondering whether the kunai would count as damage. Certainly does. Walked straight into one. I was just about to say, where are these enforcers? I ended up walking straight into one. There's another one. There's another enforcer. That might be about 3. So there might be a couple left. It's 4 maybe. So possible there's 1 left. There he is. Might as well get up there. Get up there a little bit closer range. So it looks like I was probably at 3. Probably at 4 now. There he is. Final one. Transfusion grenade might be the most useful. Let's see if I have one of those. Slag transfusion. Let's try that one. Not really using the grenades all that much, but might as well mess around with these grenades. I generally just end up using the magic missile most of the time, so I might as well we've got an opportunity here to play around with some of these other grenades. Doesn't really matter too much what grenade I use, or if I use them at all. There's one. I guess my health was full, so I didn't really need to use a transfusion there. Badass enforcers are finding out very conveniently for us here. I think we've got 2 or 3 already. So that's 3 or 4. That's probably definitely 4 now. So we'll probably just have this might be the last one here. No. We're on 3 then. About to throw off my transfusion there. Didn't quite get a chance to. This might be the last one. There we go. That was the last one. We have 300 pistol ammo left, that'll do. 5 grenades. So it's using the same buzzer sound effect to start the round as used in the other Torgue arena challenges. I think we've got 1 there. I'm going the long way around here. There's no enemies this way. Looking at the minimap. There we go. That's 3. 3 of the badasses down. Do that weird glide thing where he'll run away from you before he moves forward. That's 4. This might be the last one here. That's 5. There we go. Not sure how many tokens are left on the ground there. We don't need to pick them up all that often. Go start the round. Not much happens in this corner of the map, so not much going this. Not much point coming this way. Let's look around. No badass enforcers here. We've got our first one here. Okay, 1 down. There's another one. No, that's a bone crusher. A little bit confusing to tell the difference. They're both sort of a bare-chested, quite wide-looking characters. That's 2. Possibly 3. I think we're up to 4. Sometimes I think we get the 4th one, but really it's the same enforcer that's just moved backwards. Usually the enforcers come forward, so when they move backwards like that, it's a little bit deceptive. Particularly with the slag cloud, that's the thing. When the enforcers get lost in the slag cloud, it's easy to lose track of them. Where are they? Here he is. There we go. That's one issue with when you get that explosive slag effect. It obscures the enemies and you lose track of them, can't can't aim at them very effectively. Happens a lot with the magic missile and also with the antagonist as well. Certainly the case trying to get these badass enforcers here. Once they get lost in that slag cloud, easy to lose track of how many you're killing. Oh, we haven't started yet. I thought I killed one. There we go. Gather at the rally point. There we go. So maybe that other patron was one of the ones from the previous round, so it didn't count. That's one. Double back around here. There's another one. Two. And we only have one grenade left here. He's still alive. Thought he was dead. So that's three. And four, looking for the final one. Not there. A lot of them hang out in this area. There he is. And I tried to do that jumping attack. Hit the room above. There's the final fifth one. I'll just use my deception to get out of there a little bit more conveniently.
High quality, low prices, and no question.
Lobbed singularity there. We have one. Homing singularity. No, we've got a lobbed one.
Nothing like a
We have a homing slag grenade that we're using.
Don't die. I need your help.
Let's throw the good old magic missile back on for now. I can buy grenades, I guess, but might as well just let them regenerate for now. No badasses this way.
Drop your weapon!
Or this way. Downstairs here. You don't really get badasses in this main area near the bar. Generally get them in this area and then up top the stairs on this top part here. Don't really have to look that closely along the bar. Right, this will be number 3. Try downstairs. Here we go. Here's number 4. You got me there. And this probably number 5, the last one. There we go. So they keep fighting until you reset the round here. I might just pick up a few tokens just to see where we're up to. No tokens drop in this area because I'm not really killing a ton of enemies in this area. So we've got 300, there's about halfway. Might as well pick these up while I'm here. Bar patrons are casually ignoring all of their enemies on the ground. Casually ignoring all the carnage. That'll do. Don't have to bother too much picking up the other ones. That's just a bone crusher.
God damn it!
Another badass.
Kill that one!
going to go up the other way, but there's no enemies that spawn the other way.
I didn't sign up for this, damn it!
I haven't found any yet. Try upstairs. There's one. There's two. So they're all hanging out up here on this balcony. 3, 4 and 5. That was 4. Where is this last one? Here it is. Surely that's number 5. It's not number 5. So it's still tier 3, and I'm not getting more. There's not a bigger number of badasses I need to kill. Let's go ahead and get some more ammo.
When you think murder, think Marcus munitions. Thanks for the scratch. Don't have too much fun.
So, what's another grenade we can mess around with here, just for fun? We did the Storm Fleet, we've got the Fastball, Slag Transfusion. Let's try the Singularity again. No badasses in the bottom section. Or up here yet. There's only a few doors they can spawn from. Here we go. We've got one now. Oh, so we didn't quite kill the first one. Another enforcer this way. I'm happy to hang out here if the enforcers keep spawning up here, but I think that's it. Here we go. Oh no, these are bone crushers. They look a lot like enforcers, but a little bit narrower.
He always stole my lunch anyways.
No enforcers that way. Not worth checking the other staircase on the other side. Are we done? We got them all. As you're running around, you do pick up extra grenades, but I am using them faster and I'm picking them up. We've got 500 pistol rounds. We can continue without getting any more ammo. No badasses this way. Try upstairs. No badasses here. There's one. Try again upstairs. Another one. Another 2. 3. Again, that's one badass, that one. It's a bone crusher. Try downstairs. There's one. Quite possible these are badass enforcers. You can't pull them with the singularity.
Let me do my job, you jackhole!
There's one. Hard to see through the slag haze. The enforcer is creating slag projectiles that blow up in a cloud of slag.
How hilarious. You just set off my trap card. Your death approaches.
Pulled out the grog nozzle there because I almost died.
I'd almost finished my comic collection.
Grab some more pistol ammo. We're down to 143 pistol ammo.
No questions asked. Carving out Epton. Don't die. I need your business.
Lost my shield! Screw you! No!
I think I can hear one of the badass enforcers. It could be Bone Crusher too. I think it is. The voice I heard was the Bone Crusher, not a badass enforcer. There's one. The one behind. Get this rat off the stairs before I go down to get these enforcers. One. Easy to tell an enforcer when it does that jumping attack at you. That's the only Goliath style enemy that does that attack. There we go. So I got lucky with the last few badasses. I could just stand on the stairs there and take them down. I'll pick up a couple of... Oh, they're just still aggroed on me. A couple of those enemies are still aggroed on me. I'll just see how many tokens I have. I've got 400. So probably the aggroed enemies are not going to start the round. Has to be one of the passive ones to start the mission round. Let's try around the back here. Nothing there. There's one. Might be two that I've killed now. Yeah, I don't think these enforcers actually do get pulled by the singularity. I tried there to throw a singularity next to that enforcer. Didn't work. Try this one. Difficult to tell, but I don't think he got pulled by that singularity. A lot of the larger enemies, particularly the badasses, won't get affected by the singularity. Try down the bottom. There's one. Oh, I did get pulled there. I could see him do that pull animation when he was in the air. So that enforcer at least did that animation when he was in the air, getting pulled backwards. $300 bullets should be enough for another round. I think that particular enemy was aggroed on me because it was running towards me. Generally when they're passive they don't run. And killing that aggroed enemy didn't start the round, so that certainly seems to be the case.
Ghosty,
Wow, almost died there. So if an enemy is aggroed on you, a patron is aggroed on you from a previous round, you can't use it to start a new round. You're almost better off waiting for the badass enforcers to get close to you with the double penetrating arrow, and you don't waste a magazine trying to kill him from a distance. He's not going to be out next to the bar there. The badass enforcers are either going to be in this area here or up top. There's a drunk effect there. Force is just hanging out by this doorway. Still alive. Finally got him. Not sure what we're up to as far as the kill count for these badass enforcers. I got the last one.
Weakness is now known to me. Time to go to work.
Yeah, it is a pity I got rid of that North Fleet. Would have made this easier. Let's head straight up here, where the badass enforcers tend to spawn. This area here and then this down here on this doorway. Nothing there. And that's the first one. So I did pull that badass enforcer with the singularity. I guess it just depends whether they're charging towards you, maybe if they're jumping towards you. Probably another one down below. There's a barrel crusher there. Let's throw the magic missile back on. Let's regenerate some grenades. And get some ammo too, we're down to 265.
Anywhere else? I made sure of that. May it help you kill many. Remember, we're always open.
Piece of crap! Die, criminal!
Tempting to just run around with the launcher, but it's a little bit risky because one of the enemies runs in front of you. Gonna get hit with that splash damage. We got a badass coming out of that doorway just as we arrived. One badass enforcer down here. Conveniently slagged for us. Another one. Most of the time they'll aggro on you if you're in their vicinity. Otherwise they will deal with the other ones. No enforcers there. Generally they don't hang out near the bar. Where are they? There he is, right behind me. The bone crusher, not a enforcer. Coming back up here. Must have moved out of this main areas where they are. Might have, oh, we're done. Keep forgetting to check the mission status there. How are we doing for tokens? 483. So that guy was not aggroed on me beforehand, he was just wandering around. It's fine to start the mission with that guy.
This slag, inelegant chemical, increases damage.
It's a bone crusher. Not what we want. Not saying here's our first badass enforcer. Quite possible that they don't spawn immediately when you start the round. You might have to survive for a few seconds before they start spawning. Another one. Fun to have that 4 times magic missile. Fun to see all the missiles just explode around the group of enemies. Oh, we're done. We are done here. Most of those aggroed enemies seem to calm down when you restart the mission, but not all of them. Let's pick up the tokens on the floor, see what we're up to. Not going to be very many tokens in that eastern stairwell. Got a head there, head skin we already have. There's probably a bunch more tokens upstairs here. So 546. Get a decent amount of iridium too, once you start getting all of these guys down. I think it's just the badasses that drop the tokens though. Killing the other enemies won't get you any more tokens. Just the badasses. You need the badasses to complete the round, and also they're the only ones that'll drop the tokens for you. Which is good, nice little bonus to get the tokens off the floor. Does add up quite a lot. We're getting close.
High quality, low prices, and no question.
No ammo, so might as well pick
You're my
top off the ammo while I'm
customer.
here.
Don't have too much fun.
Start the mission. Oh, we already have. We're ready to go. We just have to hit one of these passive patrons to start the mission. Look around for the badasses.
Sign up for this, damn it.
Better run.
First badass is probably up the top level here. There he is. Number one. There's another one down here.
Let him back up!
Oh, he snuck up behind me, this one.
I won't die today. Not while I still have ammo. I am a badass. How hilarious. You just set off my trap card. Your death approaches.
I'm gonna kill you. Look out!
That's a brilliant crusher there, not an enforcer. Nothing much happening up the top.
There's no escape.
Covered in slag. I must seek cover quickly, or pain is coming.
Turn in, so most of them were down that bottom section. They're still brawling in there. Let's see how many tokens we got now. $597, so this could be the final. Oh, if I pick up all of these, I don't think I'm going to have quite enough. We have to do one more round, then we'll have enough. But before I do that, I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be right back. Back to Borderlands 2. So, gather at the rally point and begin. First one's probably above. One. Don't crush it that way. No badass. Oh, there's another badass. That's the third badass. There's a couple here. This might be 4 and 5 here. Okay, that was 4 and 5. So let's go ahead and pick up these tokens here. Kill these brawlers. I hope they stop spawning. There is some tokens amongst this group here. 607. Once we turn this in and get the reward, we'll have enough. So we might as well pick up the tokens here. This guy dropped a lot of stuff. All junk though. $612 plus the reward. That'll be enough. We need 613. So we're good. Now comes the fun part. We get to spend it. All right. Let's see what we got here. Homing bonus package. So we want to bump the level back up again anyway before we buy something. Let's go back to OP6 here. Curb Blaster, we have one of those already. Let's go ahead and put the network mode to offline. Another bonus package. I think I have encountered a bonus package before. It's a normal drop and a rolling thunder. It's a useless grenade, that rolling thunder. It's like a rubberized one. Don't know if there is a rubberized one that's actually worth using. Nukem there. Easy to get nukums from the Black Queens during the Digistruct Peak challenge. Come across a ton of those. Another Curb Blaster. I'm trying to get the Flakker here. Here's one. So, I'm not sure what a good Flakker and a bad one is, so I'm just going to make a note of some of these figures here. So it's doing Let's see, 1.6 million damage. Accuracy 8.8. Fire 8.4. Reload speed. 3.2 magazine size. 13. So we'll leave that one just so we can get an idea what is a good Flakker, which one's a bad one. If we have a look at least two of them, we can start to get an idea of what's a good one, what's a bad one. I've got a Herald here.
Testosterone!
Try again. Another grenade. Don't know if any of those Torgue grenades are even worth using. There's not a lot of good stuff actually in this Torgue shop as far as good things go. I've got a regular spitter. I don't mind the Torgue spitters, but I don't know if I'd spend tokens to get one. Especially a blue one. Probably wouldn't bother. Alright, so here's another Flakker here. So, it's much more accurate at least compared to the other one. So it's more accurate, fire rate's the same. Reload speed's a little bit more. Magazine size is similar. We've got the zoom. So this one's similar to the other one, only difference is the accuracy. 15.6. Other than that, very similar to the other one we looked at. And it's got the scope as well. So I might just keep looking. So I'm getting a feel now for what's a good one, what's a bad one. Curb Blaster. I have a Curb Blaster, don't need to bother with another one. Chose a Curb Blaster that's got the increased magazine size. Maybe plump. I think that might be the prefix for the Torgue prefix for increased magazine size. Plump. Nukem. Another Nukem. Most of the shotgun iron sights are pretty rubbish, so getting one that's got a scope on it's not a terrible idea. If we encounter one with a scope. But then again, with something like a Flakker, you're probably going to be using it close range anyway with such terrible accuracy, so scope may be just a waste. Alright. Damage is about the same as the other ones. Accuracy is a lot better than the other ones. Fire rate's the same. Reload speed's a little bit slower. Magazine size a little bit less. So this is using 4 ammo per shot. So probably want one that has at least a magazine size of 12. Magazine size of 11 is going to give me 3 shots. I guess magazine size 11 will give me 3 shots, as would 12. 13 would give me 4. So it's possible I probably should go for a one that has a magazine size of 13. Get that extra shot per reload. That's probably going to be important.
Toodles!
So maybe that's the idea. It was interesting that that one had substantially better accuracy than the other ones.
Torgue!
Had like 30 something, 30 accuracy. The other ones only had 15 or less.
Torgue!
But getting that extra shot off would be good. Having that magazine size above 12 would probably be very nice. Now that I can see you can get magazine size above 12.
Motherfucking!
Did Torgue swear there? Sounded like he swore on that shop recording. Getting Harold's now. Okay, so this one's got a 12. Damage is a little bit less than the other one. Accuracy is 24. The other one we saw was about 30. Fire rate, reload speed's about the same. Magazine size 12. Might be nice to get one that's got a magazine size of 13. Get that extra shot per magazine. That'd make a big difference. So I think I want to keep searching for one that at least has a magazine size of 13. That seems to be a good idea. Get that extra shot per reload.
Testosterone! Testosterone!
Getting some nukums. Pretty easy to get the nukums. I've found quite a few nukums from the Black Queens, which are a consistent spawn later on in the Digistruct Peak challenge. So no point spending Torgue tokens on a nukem. They're pretty easy to find if you do the Digistruct Peak. So this one's 12. I kind of want to get one. Get a Flakker that's got that 13 magazine size. Get that extra shot. So who knows how rare it is to find one with a 13 magazine, but I'll keep trying. Now I've got a bit of a feel for what's a good Flakker, what's a bad one. I think getting one with a 13 shells in the magazine is a good idea. I have to pay more attention to what Mr. Torgue says when you access the shop here. He didn't say anything that time. No, it looks like he talks when you exit the shop. Here we go. 13 magazine size, I like that. Damage is about the same. Accuracy is... Wow, look at the accuracy. Terrible. 1. Cannot take that with an accuracy of 1. So maybe that's the compromise. You either get the magazine size, but accuracy 1 seems completely ridiculous. I don't think I'm going to take that one. considering some of the other ones had an accuracy up to 30, that does not seem like a good idea. Keep on with an accuracy of 1. So I want a 13 magazine size, but something with a reasonable accuracy. Certainly not 1. I think the other 13 mag I found previously, they didn't have a ridiculous accuracy like that. So it is possible to get one that's got a better accuracy. I mean, I do like the spitters. You can't get a legendary Torgue Spitter from the shop here, but you can get at least a purple one. So that's another idea. Because I did see a purple spitter there. I didn't pay much attention to it, but there's another thing I could look for as well, potentially buy, is if I find a purple spitter in these shops. There's no purple spitters here. I wouldn't have enough to buy a purple spitter and the Flakker. And I wouldn't mind a purple spitter. So maybe I'll keep an eye out for those as well. I mean, that purple spitter that I saw was probably around 100. So these guys are around 100. So if I wanted a purple spitter, it's going to be around 100. So if I wanted both this purple spitter and the Flakker, I'd have to farm for another 100 tokens to get both. But that's the best I could probably do if I wanted to get a spitter from the shop there. I'm not going to get a legendary one. Best I could get would be a purple one. I do have the Kerr Blaster. We've got one of these guys, which is the best, which I think is the only legendary Torgue assault rifle you can get from the shops. Can't get a spitter. So I've got the root here, purple root. I think it does seem quite rare to get the purple spitter here anyway. So I guess I'll just see which one I get first. Whether I get a decent purple spitter or I get a Flakker that's got at least a 13 magazine size. Both seem quite rare to get, so we'll see which one comes up first. If we get the spitter first, then we can always farm for another 100 tokens to get the to get a Flakker. But I don't really want a Flakker that's got like a 1 accuracy. That seems kind of useless. Here we go. Here's one spitter, and it's plump, which I think that's the extra magazine size, which is useful for a spitter. That's 146. OP6 plump, which is good. I like the extra. I like the magazine bonus there. Damage, accuracy. You know what? I think I'm going to buy this. I like the plump guns. So that means I'm going to have to farm for another 150 odd tokens. I'm happy with that. I'm going to buy this thing. Why not?
Now you're a badass. Thanks for browsing our
Ever since I learned about the Torgue shops, I've been wanting to get a Torgue Spitter from the shops. So it looks like this is probably the best I'm going to be able to do. A purple Spitter, on level Spitter. So just out of interest, let's compare these. Damage is less, of course. We've got that extra fire rate, so let's try it out. It looks like a Spitter to me. And I like having the extra magazine size. So let's go ahead and just to farm for an extra 150 tokens. We can grab a Flakker while we're here as well. Oh, we've got a launcher here to sell off. I wonder if we have any other junk to sell while we're here. As far as items go, I think it's just that launcher by the look of it. So let's see. That's fine, we can keep that there. So let's sell off that launcher we just got.
Get this out of the way. Yes, most of my merchandise.
Save quit there. We'll drop the difficulty level back down to OP0. Farm for another 150 tokens. And we'll continue our search for a Flakker with a mag size of 13. This is taking a very long time to load for some reason. Hopefully the game hasn't crashed here. There we go. So let's drop the level back to OP0. Double check the loadout here. That looks fine. And we'll farm for a few more tokens. 150. 150 odd tokens.
Kick some rear, 'cause it's time for a beatdown bar brawl. Just pick a fight with the drunks and stay alive.
So that's the best I can do as far as getting a Spitter from the Torgue shop. There's a purple Spitter. That's what I really wanted was like a legendary Spitter from the Torgue shop, but once I farmed for my initial set of Torgue tokens and looked at the Torgue shop seriously, I realised there was no legendary Torgue Spitter in the shop. I was under the impression there was. Oh, that particular badass fell through the stairs there, glitched through the stairs. And then Enforcer behind us. So we've got to thank these Enforcers here. We owe our new Spitter to these guys. They kindly gave us some tokens. Gave us their tokens. There's another Enforcer. I think I just killed myself with my own grenade. That's one thing you have to be careful of with the magic missile. It's very easy to end up hitting yourself. Because the grenades are homing as well, so even if you throw them, then they're not right next to you. If an enemy runs close to you, the magic missile can end up homing in on you, or homing in next to you, and you still get that explosive damage from the magic missile. I don't think you get the slag effect.
Nearly paid off the house.
You get the damage, but I don't think you get the slag effect from your own grenades. Slag grenades. Might as well throw off magic missile just for fun.
Got ourselves a hero.
Reinforcer. And there's another one. Can't just see him through that cloud. That slag cloud. And we also have the antagonist, which is throwing out slag missiles as well, which give a slag cloud. There's a guy also there. And another one in the corner. Kind of nice when they just charge at you rather than jump at you. And you've got plenty of time to shoot at them. Particularly if they're slagged, and they will go down if you're shooting with a Herald here. Alright, that's 20. We need 150. So once you factor in the tokens that you're picking up off the ground, per round you're probably getting, I don't know, maybe three or so tokens off the ground per round. Plus the 20, so you're probably getting close to 23 odd tokens per round altogether. Once you factor in the mission reward and the ones you collect that get dropped. I've got 2 enforcers down here. Oh, I think that was... no, just a bone crusher. Easy to get those confused, the bone crusher and the enforcer. The bone crusher there. Got a few enforcers that time. Spawning in quick succession. There's one. This could be the last one for this round. I'm just happy to aggro on these other enemies here. There we go. Not sure what brand the Norfleet launcher is. Certainly not Torgue, because we've got the Nukem. Got 237 bullets is probably enough to do one round, but I might as well top off while I'm here. Tempted to try out my new spitter, but it's not going to be as effective as the DP Herald here, so I'll just keep this for now. The spitter would have more better range at least. And the spitter also gives me an opportunity to use assault rifle ammo instead of relying on the pistol so much. Using pistol ammo for the Hornet, pistol ammo for the Herald. It's good to be able to mix it up, particularly for the Digistruct Peak rounds where ammo can be a problem, particularly if you're not using the B-shield. There's no badasses up that way. There's one. There's another enforcer here too, actually.
I must seek cover quickly, or pain is coming.
Paula's going to be in trouble there, staying in the same position for too long. When I saw those 2 enforcers, I really wanted to take them out before I moved. Yeah, this could be the last one here. There we go. I'll just pop a deception to heal up a bit. So we're probably about 70 out of 150. So we're probably halfway to getting our 150 back. So we have more than 613 for the next item I want from the shop. Now we have access to the Torgue shop. We might as well use it. Oh, I thought that was a badass, but it's not. Just a bone crusher there. That certainly is a badass enforcer there. No enforcers downstairs. Pretty sure there was going to be one upstairs because all the usual places were empty as far as enforcers go. Stuck here on the stairs. That's a That's no enforcer. I don't think that there is one down there. There's an enforcer, another one. Who's he shooting at? Or for attacking? Is it just attacking the wall there, that particular enforcer? No, we did it. We got him. That's that round done. Let's just check how many tokens we have. I don't think we're quite there yet, but we're getting closer. I'm killing all the badasses in this area, so this is where the tokens are going to be. 589. I don't think there's going to be enough tokens on the ground, on the floor here. We might get close, but not quite enough.
Not bad.
Certainly this will be the last round we need to do. So I might as well just do this round. So this will be the last one to get the tokens we need. No badasses that way. There we go. I think it just takes a few seconds for the first badass enforcer to spawn. It doesn't spawn immediately when you start the round. So there's no point looking too hard straight when you start the round, because I don't think they spawn immediately. It takes a few seconds for the first one to appear. Only a couple left now. And there's one of them. He's aggroed on me now. Hard to see through the haze. There we go. So that's it. That's all we need. So we might as well hoover up the tokens off the floor here. This will be the final round we need to get our tokens. We can start keep shopping for that Flakker. I certainly want a Flakker that's got a 13 magazine size. Now that I've seen they exist, now that I've seen that I can get one that has a better accuracy than one, that's definitely on my shopping list. Flakker, 13 mag, and an accuracy better than one. there's not going to be any Torgue tokens other than this area down here and this area above on the stairs, because I haven't killed any of those badass enforcers anywhere else. So there's no point looking at the rest of the map there. Experience is not that useful for us. So let's quit, bump up the level, and go shopping. Let's increase this back to OP6. See what we get. Nope. Start off with a nukem, which are abundant if you're doing the Digistruct Peak. Once you get up to the Digistruct Peak levels where you get the Black Queens, then you get a ton of nukums. Same with the Boneheads. Once you get up to the OP levels where you get the Boneheads, then you get those Bone Crusher SMGs. You get a ton of those. They're rubbish anyway, but if you really want one, you get more than you can hope for once you get up to those OP levels where the Bone Crushers are, or Boneheads are. We have our purple spitter now, so we don't need to look at those. I don't really even want to look at those, just in case I find one better than mine. I don't know how obsessive I want to get looking for another spitter though. But if I see one, maybe I will just check them out. They're not that they're 150 Torgue tokens, which is not a huge amount. If I find a spitter that's better than mine, I can just get one. Oh, you can... I don't know, can you? Oh, you can't sell. So you can't sell Torgue weapons for tokens, even legendary ones by the look of it. You can only buy stuff. I guess that would make it a little bit too easy if you could actually sell Torgue weapons for tokens. It'd be a little bit too easy to maybe generate tokens that way. Kind of funny that the Torgue shops vibrate as well. They're on their little springed legs and vibrate with their exhausts. Have to pay more attention to what Mr. Torgue says on the recordings on the shops. I haven't really paid much attention. So he's not saying anything when you first open the shop there. I forgot to listen to that one. I like Mr. Torgue. He's probably my favourite character in Borderlands, so it's funny to listen to the content.
If you don't come back, I'ma be pissed.
It's funny to listen to those recordings. Blaster. Toodles. It's funny, Mr. Torgue's a macho guy, but sometimes he goes the opposite way and says stuff that's not macho at all, like toodles. Or when he's talking to his mother in the DLC. When he talks to his mother, he's not macho then either. Another nukem. Another nukem. I didn't see any purple spitters there. I have what looks like a decent one. I didn't look at multiple spitters to compare because they were a bit too rare to bother. But plump, I know at least that plump is the prefix for increased magazine size, and I'm happy to have a spitter with an increased magazine size because they do burn through ammo quickly with their high fire rate and the way they accelerate with the rate. So having an increased magazine size is certainly a good option. So, what is that, a piston? I guess that's a piston there. To keep with Torgue's motif of masculine engines. And the exhausts. So that's the Torgue mascot, little piston mascot. Here is a Flakker, magazine size 11. Oh, I forgot to listen to that one. So I know that the 13 mag size exists. Who knows, possible it might be too rare to mess around with too much. Maybe 12 is realistically the best I can do. But we'll keep trying for now. If I get too sick of trying to get a 13 magazine, I'll take something less. But I've encountered at least 2 Flakkers so far with a 13 magazine. I didn't pay attention to what the accuracy was of the first Flakker that I encountered with a 13 magazine, but I'm pretty sure it's better than 1. Because I definitely would have noted that if it was 1. Not finding a ton of Flakkers now. And those purple spitters are quite rare as well. Probably seems... Here we go, what have we got here? 11. So it looks like it's quite rare to get the mag size above 12. Seems like it's worth it though. So long as you can get that accuracy better than 1. Having that extra shot instead of having 3 shots, getting 4. Hello, now we've got a decent magazine size here. Let's have a look at the stats on this one. Damage is okay, accuracy is 8, which is 8.8, which I think is pretty standard actually. At least for this mag size, I probably can't hope for more than that. Fire rate's normal. Reload speed is less, but I'm getting an extra shot. And it's got a zoom on it. This might be the best I can hope for, really. Reload speed 4.4, which seems quite low. The other ones had a reload speed of like 3.2. But I am getting that extra shot, so I don't know. And the accuracy is okay. So it's really about the same if you think about it. You're getting an extra shot. But the reload speed's slower. So it works out about the same. So I don't know if that's worth it. So you're getting 4 shots instead of 3. That reload speed means that that extra shot's you're not really getting anything for that extra shot. Might leave that one. With that lower reload speed, that extra shot's pointless. You know, doesn't get you anywhere. Hello, we've got another one. This reload speed's even worse. And it's got a bayonet on it, so no. So I'm just going to make a note of that. It's got a mag size of 15. The reload was like 4.4. Quite possible it's too hard to get a greater magazine size and a decent reload at the same time. But we shall see. Now that I'm actually paying attention to these things, we'll find out. And we can also keep an eye out for another purple spitter as well. Harold there. Let's see what Mr. Torgue has to say this time.
Toodles!
Toodles, we've heard that one before.
Explosion noise! Here!
Explosion noise here. Obviously a directive from Mr. Torgue. That's what he wanted for the machine. But whoever built the machine didn't quite understand what Mr. Torgue was talking about. And he literally just put in Mr. Torgue's verbal request. Getting a ton of curb blasters, not many flakkers. I assume the rarity for the legendaries is about the same. You've got a double penetrating Harold here. Just out of curiosity, let's compare it to our double penetrating. Seems pretty similar. Ours has a better reload speed, slightly lower magazine size. Ours has a better zoom. Slightly less damage, but pretty close. I think ours is better actually. Ours is better than that one. So that's another explosion. I guess Torgue is obsessed with explosions, so makes sense he'd have multiple recordings for his shop where he says explosion. Mag size 10. Reload speed 4. So we know the mag size does go considerably above 13 for the Flakker. You don't have to wait, or you don't have to look for a 13. But it doesn't really matter whether it's 13 or 15, you're still getting 4 shots. Because it's 4 shots per, or 4 bullets per shot. Good blaster there. Harold. Toodles. Another curb blaster. Getting a ton of curb blasters. When I was shopping for my curb blaster, they weren't popping up this often. nuke him.
See ya!
Pyro, Pete's Bar. Rolling Thunder. That's not a very good grenade at all. Found one of those, played around with it. Realised immediately that was not going to be very useful at all.
You don't come back.
But I guess once you got the once you put the rubberized grenade mechanic in the game, then you might as well get some use out of it as far as legendaries go.
Thanks for browsing. Thanks for browsing.
So I have a feel now for what I want out of a Flakker. But anything more than 4.4 reload, and then it's not really, you're not really gaining anything by having that extra shot in the magazine. Let's see what Mr. Torgue has to say this time. Alright, let's have a look at this one. Reload speed. That's worse than what we were looking at before.
Motherfucking see ya!
So maybe with the extra magazine size, you can't hope for a better reload speed than 4.4. Haven't seen one. Have not seen with a better reload speed than 4.4 with a magazine greater than 12. But at 4.4 you don't gain anything.
Explosion!
You might as well just get a Flakker that has a 3-shot magazine and a reload speed of 3.2. Works out about the same reload per shot, reload delay per shot. So DPS would be the same at that point. Here's another one. Let's have a look at this compared to my spitter. So damage is a little more, accuracy is better, fire rate's less. Magazine size is substantially less. I really like having that bigger magazine size, so I like mine better than that new one.
Toodles!
We shall persevere. So pretty happy getting the plump spitter.
Torgue!
Particularly for something like a spitter, you want to have a good magazine size for something like a spitter, because it does eat through ammo, and you pretty much have to get the fire rate up as well. So I'm happy with my spitter purchase. Definitely wanted a plump one, and I kind of want a Flakker with at least a 4-shot magazine too, if I can get one with a decent reload. Okay, this is probably the best I can hope for. This is the best I can hope for. Damage is about on par. Damage is average for the Flakker. Accuracy, that's the average accuracy for the Flakker. Fire rate, I think that's the average fire rate. Reload speed, I think it's average. We got our increased magazine there. We don't have a scope, but that's okay for something like a Flakker. I think this is the best we can hope for if we want that magazine above 12. That's got the average reload speed, which we haven't seen for the Flakker with magazine sizes above 12. And we're not wasting parts on a scope that we don't really need. Or dumb stuff like a bayonet. So if I want a magazine size above 12, I think this is the best one that I could realistically hope for. So let me just double check these stats here. Damage is average, accuracy is average, fire rate's average, reload speed's average, and then we got the magazine size above 12, so we get that extra shot. I think that's the best we can hope for. Let's go ahead and purchase this. Done. Let's play around with our new Flakker. Get rid of our double penetrating Herald. Let's have a look at this Flakker. I'm glad it's got some sort of a sight on it, because shotgun sights are pretty much universally terrible, the iron sight, so it's good it's got something on there. So it does have quite a wide spread on it, but they all seem to, the Flakkers. Unless you go for that one that's got the... we did encounter one Flakker that had like a 30 accuracy, another one that had 15, but if I want that extra magazine size, this is probably the best I can hope for. At some point in the future, if I really like the idea of a Flakker, I can go for one that's got the 3 shots per magazine and then the boosted accuracy. We have seen one that had an accuracy of 30, which is probably the best you could hope for a Flakker. Well, so we've got exploding shells there. Let's step outside, see what it looks like with a longer range on it. Okay, so they do explode quite close. Even if you shoot them in the air, it is exactly like flak. It's just got a timed explosion before it hits something. That'll be interesting to play around with. Well, there we go, mission accomplished. We got our Flakker. And we also got the purple spitter. I wanted to get a on-level spitter, ideally a legendary one, but I think there is one legendary one in the game that you can get. I think in the Tiny Tina's DLC you can get one, but I think it's probably difficult to get. I'm certainly not going to try to farm for one now, so that's good. We got our plump spitter, which I think is probably the best to go for, that extra magazine size. And we got our Flakker with the extra magazine as well, getting 4 shots per reload. So let's go ahead, save quit there before we lose our new Flakker to a crash or something. Kind of weird as well, at least with the Epic Games version. The Epic Games version of Borderlands 2. If you lose your network connection, if you have a network glitch for a few seconds where the network connection times out, then you get booted from the game and you lose your progress, which is really, really annoying. So let's run back. What do we got for shields? We've got the antagonist. We can pull the sheriff's badge off. We'll put on the Put on a Bone of the Ancients for the extra cooldown rate. Let's run back. Run back and travel back. We're finished here. We don't have to be in this area anymore. So far, none of them have shot at us. Now they hit us. Yeah, I wonder if we've got an opportunity now. I'm not going to try to look at the shops when I'm getting shot at. So let's jump back to the Digistruct Peak. Not sure whether you can actually get killed when you have the fast travel station menu open. Certainly you can with the shops. Don't know about the fast travel station though. Express shield there, ammo shop. There's a burn and merv. Gun shop. It's a bandit SMG. Let's go ahead and make sure our ammo's topped off here.
Thanks for the scratch.
So we did use a little bit of ammo playing around with our new weapons. That looks good. How are we doing for money anyway? 17 million. I don't think we have anything to sell off. We do have a bunch of shotguns, probably not going to use all of them. This was kind of disappointing, this flame one. Could get rid of that. This corrosive one might be useful against maybe surveyors. Maybe I'll hold on to that for now. And this one too. I might hold on to that shock shotgun too. But let's go ahead and top off our rockets. Let's get some top off our rocket ammo here. There we go. Now we'll just replenish our pistol ammo. So let's start off with the flame, sandhook, and the bee shield. Well, let's keep our Flakker on. We'll play around with that. And we'll keep this Hunter class mod on as well. We've picked up quite a nice haul of iridium there as well. We've got 400 iridium. We've bought all the iridium upgrades. So we're just using this to Digistruct chests or for raid bosses. That's all ready. We've got the iridium for now. Before we continue with this run, I'm going to take a quick break and I'll be right back. Play around with our new weapons, particularly the Flakker. See what that thing does.
I'm very... Please assemble here and we can begin.
So we've got the Sandhawk, we've got the Flakker. What else do we have? Yeah, we've got the top new launcher, Grog Nozzle. B Shield, 4x Magic Missile, Flame by the Ancients. Legendary Hunter class mod for that cooldown rate boost, mostly. And the reload speed, 25% boost to reload speed, it's pretty nice too. I'll see if I can take out this tank with the Sandhawk here. Don't know if I can get the hit the bore shots with the wavy bullets, maybe not. No, I did. Wasn't sure whether I'd be able to hit that bore shot point with those wavy bullets. This next one though, I definitely want to use a sniper here because it's quite a long range shot here. Next tank spawns way off. I'm using the Pimpernel. Didn't want to use the Pimpernel. Wanted this guy. They're both shock snipers, so I got confused there. And that's why I didn't want to use a Pimpernel, because you end up just blowing the top off, even if you hit the ball point. Now I've got to deal with the bottom part of this tank. Might be easier here with the Hornet maybe.
Seekers.
And my shields recharge. Much better to use the other sniper other than the Pimpernel, because it'll do that, just blow off the top part, and you can't hit that bore shot for the bottom part. So Pimpernel's good in a lot of instances, but not ideal if you want to hit that spider tank bore shot. Oh, this rabid skag.
I vanish.
I was not expecting a rabid skag to appear. Got him. Rabid skags are always concerning, particularly if they come up on you, close that distance before you're ready for them. And it is a big problem. What do we have here? Another rabid skag. This launcher is doing nothing. Probably should have swapped out my shield to a different one. Probably should have. Once that rabid skag gets close like that, you're not going to get anywhere with a B shield. Very rarely do I get two rabid skags in a row there.
Life is often unfair and you may never succeed. Fortunately,
I don't know if I've ever got 2 rabid skags in a row like that. That's pretty bad RNG
I'm sure we'll be doing this again.
for the enemy spawns in that area. That very rare. That's never happened. That would have been an interesting opportunity to use the Flakker there on a hyper aggressive melee enemy like that. Let's go ahead and regenerate my rockets. That'll do. We're back up to maximum rockets. Got to keep an eye out for those rabid skags. Once they close the distance and you got the B shield on, you're in trouble. If you have another shield, you've got more of a chance. I'll put the sniper on here for those long range shots on those tanks. And I'll keep the rest the same. I'll throw the B shield back on. And we'll top off our pistol ammo too.
Welcome, customer.
Not that you use a lot there. I was at 872 out of 900, so I only used 28 shots to top off my rocket ammo.
If you could stand, please assemble here.
But when I'm right next to the shops like that, why not? Might as well just get everything back up to maximum. I probably don't even have to take cover for this first tank shot, because it's a pretty easy shot to make. That tank sidestepped. Never seen a tank sidestep like that. Particularly, I didn't even open fire on it. I wonder if the AI for the tank will sidestep if you ADS on it. Can't see much here. Try to hit the bore shot even though I can't really see it. I've got a rabid skag here too. You know what, I'm going to swap these shields out before this rabid skag is on top of me. Let's go for the antagonist maybe. And just for fun, let's try out the Flakker with this rabid skag. See what happens. And the Sandhawk is no good without the B shield. If I get the right weapon on.
World revealed. Weakness is now known to me. Time to go to work.
I think you do have to aim low for it. Looks like the range on this Flakker is like it's weird the way the range on this gun works. Seems like it has like a set range. You can't really fire it closer. Kind of strange there.
Unfortunately, life is often unfair.
If I shoot down
and may
here,
never succeed.
yeah, it does.
Fortunately,
Even if you're shooting at the
exists.
floor. Oh, now it is. Seems like if I'm aiming here, it's still, the shots are still landing over here. You pretty much have to aim right at your feet to get them to explode around you. Like if you shoot something here, and so the bullets are sort of exploding around here. So if an enemy's right on top of you, maybe the Flakker, not a great option.
Farewell, friend.
It's weird the way the range works on the Flakker. See, I would have, if I'm aiming here, say at this archway level, I'd expect the bullets to explode here, but they're actually exploding way over there. So if I'm right here, if I'd aimed tight enough, if I'm aiming here, where are they exploding now? There. Now they're exploding up here. That's weird. So it looks like the Flakker maybe doesn't work so well if you're shooting like really close. Maybe it sort of has a fixed range to it.
You will help me and please assemble
Probably
here
should.
and we can begin.
I did waste a bit of shotgun ammo here. I'm not going to go back for it. It's fine, whatever. So maybe if you got melee enemies right on top of you, maybe the Flakker doesn't work out too good. So let's swap out this loadout back to the Flame Sandhawk B Shield and Sniper. So it's fairly unusual to get even one Rabid Skag initially, and very unusual to get two. Never seen that before. But something worth keeping an eye on, that you can get at least one Rabid Skag early on. For some reason my Sandhawk's in the wrong position. That's better. That's interesting, when the tank first spawns in, it does sort of move around. Does change position. I wonder if this one will from this far away. Not really. We've got our tank here. Let me guess, so Rabid Skags are getting a lot of Rabid Skags now. Missed twice. Launcher doesn't do much for these Rabid Skags. What is this spitter doing? I'll just use my deception to heal up a bit here. I was so interested in hitting that bar tank. Almost got killed there. So interested in hitting that bar tank's border shot. I completely ignored that little Skag coming up on me. Did I use the Pimpernel there? No, that's a loader. For some reason I must have just missed the shot. Ball shot. These tanks never drop anything interesting. Never seen these tanks drop anything worth picking up. other than maybe junk to sell, but that's about it. Couple junk items, junk grenade and a shield. What do we have here? Another one of these arbalists. Another arbalist spider tank. Another one. These guys are very spammy with their shots. Just a green weapon there. Now we have the bigger spider ants here. So it looks like you can strafe the rabid skag's attacks a little bit. I was side strafing them. And I did dodge a few of their attacks. So maybe that is an option too. Maybe you can dodge them. At least a little bit. But certainly not practical to keep the B shield on once those rabid skags get close. So far, Flakker a little bit disappointing. Kind of weird. The distancing on it is weird. I think that's just the way it works. It has a fixed range on it. If you try to shoot too close, you don't really get anywhere. Now we can get surveyors here. Have to be careful. There's one. I'm going to put on a hornet here to deal with this surveyor. And swap out this flame bone of the ancients for a corrosive one. Okay, surveyor's taken care of. I don't know if we even have spider ants this time. It's all loaders. Oh no, that's a spider ant there. So we had one spider ant, loaders, and then loaders, and a surveyor. Usually get more spider ants there. A lot of times sappers at that point. We'll pick up this ammo over here. We also have a purple corrosive bandit shotgun that I haven't really used. I just thought I'd hold on to it just in case it's useful for surveyors. Shotguns can be useful for surveyors. I do have an OP4 butcher. That seems to be a little underpowered for the surveyors. But I haven't really used it that much, so it might be useful. Generally I just use this this hornet here. There's something right on top of me. It's a badass loader. Try to get some cover first before I start shooting. Try to get this shoot this arm off. No surveyors and no bandits, which is good. Sometimes taking out these loaders when you've got bandits sprinting for you is troublesome. But if you just got the badass loaders without anything like a surveyor's, that's the screen, shotgun there, anything like surveyors or marauders taking down your B shield, they're not too bad. Pretty easy to deal with if you've got the Hornet, particularly the Hornet and the B shield. Now I think we've got marauders next. Marauders along with the maniacs. So putting on the snipers is not a bad option. Next to me, which is one of the problems with the magic missiles. If you throw a magic missile and then the enemies get close to you, the magic missiles will just home in. Trying to take that maniac out before he got too close. He did wriggle around a bit when he got hit with those magic missiles. Another maniac. We've got plenty of maniacs coming through. Generally you get more marauders, less maniacs. So that's it for the marauders and maniacs. We got all maniacs this time, no marauders. We can swap back to the flame sandhawk. And let's try our purple spitter here. See how that goes. And we can swap out this corrosive bone of the ancients for the flame one. There we go. Horn skag. And a spitter skag over here. Might be time for the scorchers. No, I've got another horn skag. Oh, I didn't get slagged. I did with 4 magic missiles and still didn't get slagged. He got lucky there.
Scorch is a fire ant. I am attempting to learn.
I'll swap out this flame sandhawk for the non-elemental one for the scorchers. Keep that spitter on, might be useful.
These digital clones shall challenge your ascent to godhood.
Feel the burning, eating your eyes deceive you. An illusion fools you all. I move for
Watch out for these flame attacks here. That rolling attack is very difficult to deal with.
ghosting.
Pounced right on top of me there.
Here, grenade.
Oh, did not want to throw that grenade. I regretted it as soon as I saw how close he was. Almost dead. nose scorch is almost dead here.
Grenade out.
A little bit easier to deal with one at a time. Bandit shotgun there. Once the B shields go down, I guess I could have swapped over to the spitter there, given that a shot. What was that? Just a green grenade there. See what we got in these ammo boxes. We do need some rockets, so that was good to get some rockets out of that ammo box, but let's see how we're going for rockets here. 25. Let's go ahead and top off our rockets. We can go back to the flame sandhawk for Dukino's mom here. I'll put the Herald on as a secondary along with the B shield
Comparisons made, but
and the
which is
flame bony
superior?
agents.
A tough decision.
How much inventory space do we have? 35 of 39. I don't think we have anything to sell off at this shop here.
A fantastic day for capitalism.
Sticky lobbed singularity.
Thanks for the scratch. Nothing like a good sale.
Ammo's in pretty good shape.
Goodbye, friend. If you shop anywhere else, I'll have you killed.
Yeah, the flame sandhawk is fine here. Four times magic missile's good. Good for these guys. Sometimes they do not get slagged with a single or a double. Like, I don't think that guy got slagged. A lot of these guys are not getting slagged. He was about to pounce there.
As she is, I can relate to Dukino's mother. She dislikes children, is without social graces, and vomits constantly.
Still walking around. Oops. Wasn't quite as far along as I wanted. This could be a problem now. Oh, too close. Oh! Thought it was finished. Jump. Too close again.
Goodbye.
Didn't think I was far enough away for the Takino's mom to start shooting those orbs. There we go. What is this? Vladoff? Vanquisher?
Violence was
Purple launcher?
informative and entertaining. Now keep moving.
That stomp area attacks slightly longer than you think. Okay, let's swap out the Herald here for the Hornet because we can get surveyors during this section, so just keep an eye out initially for surveyors. Usually the first couple attack waves have surveyors. What do we have here?
Not that it matters once you start shooting at her. You are
No,
not
we've got,
brain damaged. I have indeed spawned several clones of this enemy. But you likely are brain damaged.
Came all the way through.
Eyes deceive you and
I'm
elude.
going to take out this Hornet, just replace it with the Herald.
Fools you all. I move for the
We do have more.
grenade out.
A couple more Black Queens just standing there. They'll aggro on me now that I hit him with a grenade. If you stand on this side of the archway,
What happened to you? So strong, imposing, fierce. Goodbye.
pretty tanky, the little ones. Surprisingly tanky, the little ones. We got one Black Queen that's out, which is troublesome.
How hilarious. You just set off my trap card. Your death approaches. Ow.
I got the little ones shooting from above.
Your eyes deceive
At this point, I'm better off
An illusion fools you all.
repositioning on the other
Move
side
for the kill.
of this archway. Because you get very difficult to get any cover across that rock.
Goodbye.
Just trying to get rid of that Black Queen fast. Got another one here. Another spider enemy.
Your eyes deceive you. An illusion fools you all. I move for the kill.
Moving on to this side of the arch was not a good idea. Where are they? There's nothing there. Oh, they're sappers, that's why. They're sappers. I think they burrowed under the ground. So we got the other enemies spawning in once I killed off some of the other the black queens there. So let's have a look. This might be a good spot to take a break for now, but I'll be right back. Back to Borderlands 2. Let's check the ammo. Ammo looks good. Well, we could do with a few rockets, I think. Top off the rockets while we're here. Sort by type. Let's throw on the flame sandhawk and the sniper for the tanks to begin with. Throw the B shield back on. There we go.
Please assemble here and we can begin.
See how we go this time. We'll be using the sniper to begin with. Also have to be wary, we could get rabid skags here too. Lobbed slag bouncing Betty. Could get rabid skags here, have to be careful. There's also one more tank too. What is this? Rabid skag. Now we've got a rabid skag here. almost was paying too much attention to that tank there. Almost missed the Rabbit Skag running up. Wait for this tank to finish shooting. We still have one more tank ahead. But for the time being, I think we have spider ants next. Skag, Spitter Skag. See if I can take out this tank early. Wasn't able to get the tank before the spider ants were on top of me. We have one more spider ant. Oh, no, we've still got the tank. Here's the other spider ant. I thought there was one left. Ball shots are a little bit too high there.
Don't stop moving. That's how the orphans will catch you.
Orphans? Did she say orphans? Sounded like she said orphans. What is this? Longbow Tesla. Sometimes you have sappers up ahead, which makes this flame sandhawk not so useful.
Throwing grenade.
Sometimes you have surveyors too. So far all loaders, so we can put the Hornet on here. And swap out this flame. Bone the Ancients for the corrosive one. No spider ants that time. Usually you get some spider ants in amongst the loaders. Not this time. Let's get this ammo in the corner. We may need it before we get to the ammo shop further along. But here we usually get loaders, sometimes bandits too amongst the loaders. So we have one up above on the cliff here, and a badass maniac here. Trying to get some cover here if I can.
Come on. I vanish.
That maniac was, badass maniac was tankier than I thought. I think that badass maniac can also throw the hatchet as well. He didn't that time, he just ran straight for me. Try to shoot one of his arms off. I think I did eventually shoot one of those loaders' arms off just before he died. Green Torgue lance. So there was the bandit and the loader combination there. I think last time we just had loaders. Now we've got marauders, maniacs here. So I'll throw on some snipers. Slag sniper, shock loader here. I'm tempted to take out this top near for the time being and throw in something for these marauders coming through. Probably the Herald here. Let's go with that. And we can swap out this Bone of the Ancients for the shock one. We'll put the shock one on because we have this shock top near there. We have an opportunity to loot these ammo boxes too. I don't think the next wave of enemies will spawn until I move a little bit closer forward. So it could be marauders, could be maniacs. Looks like maniacs. Having that Herald is a good option. Sometimes dealing with those maniacs is a little bit awkward with the sniper. We've got another maniac. Get the Herald back on here. Rabbit Skag. I can try to take it out with the Flame Sandhawk before it gets too close. I want to put the launcher back on. And I'll throw in the Flame Bone of the Ancients. Let's swap out this B shield. The antagonist, maybe. Turtle shoot is a 4 million capacity there. Well, I think the antagonist is probably the best option. I'll take out the Sandhawk. Still like to get some use out of this Flakker. I think I'll just go with the Herald, maybe the Spitter here, but I'll probably just keep with the Herald for now. Thinking those Emperor Spider ants. We also have a Spitter Skag that I didn't notice. Let's try this Spitter out. Try the Spitter against a Spitter. I think I missed most of those shots actually. Either that or the Spitter does nothing. Doesn't seem to do much at all. Unfortunately. I guess the purple Spitter might just not be strong enough once you get up to the Digistruct Peak. Didn't seem to do much. Now we can swap back to the B shield. Now we've dealt with that rabid Skag. We'll throw the non-elemental Sandhawk on. I'll keep the Herald there just in case. And the Flame Bone of the Ancients. That'll do.
Grenade out!
Very annoying attack. I think if you get on top of this rock here, you can't do that rolling attack.
I feel the burning eating through my equipment. Must I disappear?
Try to lead him as he's strafing around.
Don't stop moving. That's how the orphans will catch you.
I did loot all of those ammo boxes on the way up. We've got a chance here to get some more ammo if we need it. I should be picking up some junk to sell because my money is not full. I have some inventory slots, so should be selling off some stuff. Try to build up my my money back up again. Let's see what this chest has. And we've got class mods here. Nothing better than mine.
Let's just get this out of the way. Yes, most of my
A little bit of pistol ammo down. About 1/3 down with the SMG ammo. We can swap out the non-elemental Sandhawk back for the flame one for Dukino's mum here. Keep the Herald and keep the Flame Bone of the Ancients. First Skag is way off here. These are all horned Skags. Not slagged.
I enjoyed that. Here, grenade.
I think we've got Dukino's mom next. Oh no. Got one more skag in a similar position.
Dukino's mother was the most terrifying creature the town of Lynchwood ever saw. Next to Moxie's
Here
arch
she
enemy, the
comes.
nefarious
Don't jump up there.
Nimblemancer.
It's going to be annoying up here, up there. She's a long way away. Usually she doesn't stray this far away from the rock. Wait for that beam to go through. She did plenty of those pounding attacks without moving forward, so that was good for us. We've got plenty of an opportunity there to take her down.
An overpower upgrade to your Echo device. By using Iridium and your Digistruct data, you will have the ability to
I'll take this Herald. I'll keep that Herald there for now,
your
but
enemies at will.
we could get a Surveyor here. We have to be careful.
By multiplying your enemies, I've multiplied your chances of death, as well as the number of times I can say multiply in a single sentence.
They both want to go behind that building. Now one's aggroed on me.
I vanish. Your eyes deceive you.
Alright, let's swap out this bee shield here. Swap out the Sandhawk for Curb Blast, a better option than that Spitter. So we'll use the Herald and the Curb Blaster here.
Fools you all. I move for the kill.
Looks like the Black Queen's gone. We can put the bee back on. And we can throw on the flame sandhawk. We can keep the Herald there for now. I don't think we're going to be facing loaders right now. There's a bunch of enemies, probably a bunch more Black Queens here.
I disappear.
Okay, that's the Black Queen taken care of. Still got a few of the little ones.
I enjoyed that.
2 bursts while slagged is enough to get rid of the small ones.
Impressive.
We've got a Nukem now. It's not a good launcher, but I need to pick up some things to sell, so it's good to sell if nothing else. There may still be another Black Queen behind. Looks like there's a sapper around. Use the Herald for the sapper. Because our Sandhawk is a flame one, or at least the one we have equipped is a flame one. We do have a non-elemental one too. There may still be another sapper around here. No. There's still one more spider ant behind. Let's get back behind here, see if we can get the spider ant to stay put. May still be one Black Queen behind. No, it's a sapper. I rode under the ground. Here it comes. So even these sappers have a charging attack.
Vault Hunter, this is priority 1.
Okay,
I need
now
you
we
to
can
disarm a series of camouflaged explosives
open these ammo
hidden in
boxes.
the combat garden.
If the spider ants get through this archway here, they can be a handful, particularly the Black Queens that can spawn the smaller ones. There's a few more ammo boxes in this corner before we continue. Next up we do have the boneheads. So I might just throw the corrosive boning ancients and the hornet on just in case.
A tough decision.
See what we get first. Marauders first. And a Blaster Nomad. Blaster Nomad's coming. Hopefully these magic missiles can slag him before he gets too close. I'm not slagged. Still not slagged. He just threw a grenade. Now he's slagged.
Don't scavenge my stuff.
This Marauder's just standing there, he's not attacking. We have another Marauder, a loader. With this angle I've got a chance to get this loader if I can slag him. Okay, badass loader's taken care of. With these rats and marauders, it might be best to swap over to snipers. Swap out this corrosive Bone of the Ancients for the shock one. Still a marauder on the left hand side. More enemies spawning in. Oh, got a surveyor. Did not see that surveyor coming. I'll throw the Hornet back on for this surveyor. Where is he? Hopefully that's the only one. There's a marauder there. I'll throw the sniper back on for this marauder. He's not slagged. Something else over here, maybe another marauder. Blaster Nomad. Flame Sandhawk is quite good for the Blaster Nomads. They're slow enough and wide enough where they end up taking a lot of damage from the Sandhawk. Marauder there. I think the magic missiles will hit from here, so I can just keep the sniper equipped. Another marauder pushing forward. Hopefully that grenade, well, that grenade did end up hitting me. I was hoping it was going to be far enough back. Still one more enemy. Probably another marauder, yeah. Oh, I've got a bunch more.
Grenade.
Got a maniac coming through. We can use the sandhog there for the maniacs. I saw the marauder running from one cover to another. Now we have the boneheads coming in. We could go with a corrosive sniper as well. I do have a corrosive pimpernel, but I think the Hornet's probably the best option here. Probably another bonehead coming in. Yeah. Another one coming in. Get these magic missiles to hit. Oh, there's one right in front of me too. Oh, it still didn't get the slag. Another grenade, and another. Trying to get them before they get to this archway here. Didn't make it. There's still one bonehead out here. I tried to do his lunging jump, but he just hit this archway, which was good. Couple of bone shredders there. I can pick them up to sell. They're probably worth a bit. Yeah, they're worth a bit of money. I'm not going to use them, but I can sell them. Lobbed transfusion, green one. Hyperion slag sniper. Quite a few ammo boxes in this section, so it's worth spending a little bit of time looting around for all of these ammo boxes.
Camouflaged Hyperion explosives designed to attack the raiders where we are most vulnerable. Our gardening battalion. Gather the onions, but do not pick the carrots.
There's also at least one cardboard cutout to loot as well. Maybe on the other side of this building. There's one. And then there's a bunch of ammo boxes on the other side, and there's also a Digistruct switch for a loot chest as well. Might as well hit that. I think there is. I might be thinking of a different area. I've looted those ammo chests there. There's quite a few ammo chests down here. We've got 3 there, plus these little ones. Not sure if that purple spitter is actually useful. Did not do much against those spider ants when I tried it. Or it might have been a skag. Now we have the Doc Mercies here. Wonder if the Flakker would be any good against the Doc Mercies. Might as well give it a shot. Let's start off with the Herald. We'll start off with the Sandhawk and the Herald and the Bee, but we'll probably swap out the Bee pretty quickly if we get pushed. We'll try this to begin with. We can get surveyors here too. Sapper, we've got a Sapper. Bit of Skag. Rabid Skag. Let's go ahead and swap out this Bee for the antagonist. Swap out the Sandhawk for something else. Probably not the Blaster. I'm tempted to try this Flakker again. But to begin with, let's go with the Herald. Let's try that.
Stealth.
Please, the Sapper's not Slag. You have to get the exact right distance for the Flakker to be any good. Put the Blaster back on. We might be up to the... Yeah, we're up to the Dog Mercies now. So let's just double check what we have equipped. I'm just trying to think what would be good against the Doc Mercies. We've got the Spitter. I mean, the Blaster is probably a better option if I'm going to think about using the Spitter. Oh, we can also just use the launcher as well. That might be the best option. Just use the launcher. Try to deal with these Doc Mercies with the launcher once they're slagged. Try to heal up here. Got a maniac here. Popping into the wall. Trying to get that maniac, couldn't get the shot. I'd like to get a shot of these Dark Mercies with a launcher if I can. Difficult with those barriers to get a good shot off. Those marauders are very annoying. Very tanky too, those marauders, surprisingly tanky. So that's probably a good spot to end the stream for now. We did farm for some tokens, Torgue tokens. We got ourselves a purple spitter here, and the Flakker. Weird to use the Flakker. It's got a weird distance that you need to keep to make it worth using. Don't know if it's really practical to use, but it was interesting to mess around with. So we'll leave things there for now, and next time we'll continue with the OP5 Digistruct Peak runs. So thank you for hanging out, and I'll see you tomorrow.